Your liver is the hardest working organ in your body, and you've never once watched it do its job. Every night, while you're asleep, it runs a full metabolic shift. It shrinks, it exports, it rebuilds its own machinery from scratch. It keeps your brain alive on fuel it manufactures in real time. And here's the part that matters for your waistline. There's a fat-burning window that only opens during deep sleep, and a single common habit shuts it down completely before it ever gets started. Most people think sleep is when the body rests. The liver never got that memo. What your liver is actually doing between the time you close your eyes and the time your alarm goes off, and why some of those hours matter a lot more than others for fat loss. I'm Fasted Fred. I explain what's happening inside your body and why it matters. Subscribe if that's your thing. Picture a factory the size of your palm. During the day, it receives deliveries constantly, nutrients from every meal you eat parceled out by the bloodstream. The factory stores what it can, processes the rest, and ships fuel out to wherever the body needs it. Then you eat your last meal. The delivery's slow. Insulin starts to fall. And something interesting happens inside that factory. It doesn't shut down. It switches modes. The moment insulin drops, the liver flips from storage mode to export and repair mode. Day shift hands off to a night crew doing completely different jobs. There's a physical version of this you'd find remarkable if you could see it. Your liver is actually larger in the afternoon than in the morning. During the day, it swells as it stores nutrients, glycogen, fats, proteins. Then overnight, as it exports those stores back into the bloodstream, it physically shrinks by up to 40%. That's not a figure of speech. The organ is physically smaller by morning than it was at dinner. Picture it as a warehouse. During the day, trucks keep arriving, shelves fill up. Then the last truck pulls out, the gates close, and the night crew runs forklifts in reverse, moving everything back out. By morning, the shelves are lean. If the liver can't make this switch cleanly, if insulin is still elevated when it should be falling, the night crew can't start. The fat-burning shift that was supposed to begin never does. But before fat burning can start, your liver has to solve a different problem, and your brain is the reason. Your brain has almost no fuel storage of its own. Your muscles can store glycogen for hours. Your fat cells are sitting on an essentially unlimited supply. But your brain? Maybe a few minutes of glucose. After that, it depends entirely on a continuous external supply. That supply runs all night. From the moment you close your eyes until your alarm goes off, your brain burns through roughly a small snack's worth of glucose every hour. Neurons firing, memory consolidating, regulatory systems running. The bill goes directly to your liver. So your liver runs a 7 or 8 hour controlled drip, slowly breaking down glycogen and trickling glucose into the bloodstream at just the right rate. Too fast and you'd wake up. Too slow and the brain falters, while you have no idea it's happening. Then, quietly, your muscles join in. While you sleep, muscle tissue breaks down slightly, not damaging, just enough, releasing an amino acid called alanine into the bloodstream. It travels to the liver, which converts it into glucose and sends it straight up to the brain. Your muscles are feeding your brain while you rest. Nobody asked them to. There's no signal you consciously send. It just happens every night in the dark. So when does the liver actually get to burn fat? It's running 3 fuel systems at once: glycogen breakdown, amino acid conversion, and a third system that handles fat. The question is whether your body ever gets to switch that last one on. The fat-burning window doesn't open when you fall asleep. It opens roughly 90 minutes after you enter deep sleep, specifically slow wave sleep, the kind that dominates the stretch between about 11 at night and 3 in the morning. The trigger is a hormone most people associate with the gym, not with sleep: growth hormone. The pituitary gland fires its biggest pulse of the entire day during that first window of deep sleep. That pulse tells the liver to shift from glucose export to fat export, releasing stored fat into circulation for the tissues that need it. The glucose drip gets handed off. The fat-burning shift begins, except insulin is standing in the way. Insulin and growth hormone are biological opposites. They don't compromise. If insulin is elevated when the growth hormone pulse fires, the pituitary stands down. The fat-burning window doesn't open. Not late, not partially. It just doesn't happen. Here's what that looks like in practice. You had a sensible dinner. Around 9, you felt slightly hungry, so you had a piece of fruit. Good choice, right? Healthy, just a bit of fructose and fiber. Your liver processed it. Insulin rose briefly. The growth hormone pulse was scheduled to fire around 11:30. Insulin was still elevated. The pituitary stood down. The fat-burning shift was canceled. The piece of fruit won. Your fat-burning night shift didn't happen. It can be canceled by a snack most people wouldn't even think twice about. Stop eating at least 3 hours before sleep. Not to cut calories, that's not the point. The point is to give insulin time to fall back to baseline so growth hormone can do its job when the window opens. 3 hours is the buffer the system actually needs. But even if you nail the eating cutoff, there's another system that can quietly undo it. And it only activates when something goes wrong with your sleep. Picture this. It's 6 in the morning. You slept well. You stopped eating at 7 the night before. You were careful. You check your blood sugar and the number is higher than when you went to bed. You didn't eat anything. You fasted 11 hours. And somehow it's up. The liver was being so careful all night, managing the glucose drip, tightly controlling blood sugar. So what happened? Your cortisol starts rising hours before you wake, priming the body for alertness. One of the things cortisol tells the liver to do is manufacture new glucose from scratch and flood the bloodstream before you've even opened your eyes. This is called gluconeogenesis. It's completely normal. Most people who see a high morning reading assume they ate something wrong. In most cases, they didn't. It's the liver doing exactly what it's supposed to do. This is where it gets more interesting. Your liver has its own internal clock, proteins called cryptochromes that act as a brake on this glucose surge. Without them, you'd wake up spiking at 2 a.m. instead of 6 a.m. The brake works, but only when you're sleeping well. One night of poor sleep, fragmented, too little slow wave, or alcohol, and the brake slips. Cortisol fires earlier and harder. You wake up with a reading that looks like a diet problem, but is actually a sleep problem. The fix isn't eating less the next day or cutting carbs at dinner. It's fixing whatever broke the brake. One thing that does help, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and water before bed. The acetic acid buffers the liver's overnight glucose output, and some people see lower morning readings as a result. Not a miracle, a buffer against a system running slightly too hard. But glucose is only part of what the liver is doing each night. There's something else it handles, every single night, that almost nobody talks about, and it's far stranger. What is the liver's most intense activity during sleep? Most people guess detox, others guess fat burning or glycogen management. The answer is none of those. The most intense nocturnal activity in your liver is the liver tearing down and rebuilding its own protein-making machinery every single night. Think about what that actually means. This organ, running more chemical reactions per second than any other tissue in your body, tears down the machines it uses to build proteins every single night and replaces them with fresh ones. Not during a shutdown, not during scheduled maintenance, while everything else is still running. Liver cells doing chemistry on one side of the room, while the teardown crew works on the other. A full factory rebuild, while the factory is still running. The cellular recycling system that breaks down damaged proteins and worn-out cell parts. When people talk about a liver detox, this is the biology they're vaguely gesturing at. It's not about the green juice. It's about giving the liver enough time without a meal arriving to actually run the maintenance cycle. A large dinner eaten late doesn't just push back the fat-burning window. It keeps the liver occupied with active digestion. The factory rebuild can't start while trucks are still arriving. Every hour you spend eating late is an hour of repair that doesn't happen. Your liver is running a complete factory rebuild every single night, simultaneously managing fuel systems and keeping your brain alive. It hasn't had a holiday in years, and it never complains. It's honestly a bit embarrassing. One more thing. Your liver's detox enzymes peak right at the transition from sleep to waking. The most powerful detox moment of your day isn't in the middle of the night. It's when you're waking up. Detox, properly understood, is a morning event. Your liver doesn't just respond to what you eat. It responds to when you eat. Inside every liver cell are circadian clock proteins that time everything. When the fat-burning shift starts, when the factory rebuild begins, when to ramp the morning glucose surge. These proteins read nutrient signals, not just light. They take their cues from the arrival of food, from insulin and compounds that enter after a meal. So when you eat at midnight, you're sending the liver's internal clock a signal that says, it's midday, feeding time, day shift. The liver believes you. The rest of your body, time to light and darkness, is saying, it's midnight, night shift, rest. The two clocks disagree. The fat-burning window shifts later. The factory rebuild gets compressed. The morning glucose surge becomes harder to regulate. People feel this as sluggish mornings, brain fog, stubborn weight that won't budge no matter what they try. Metabolic jet lag. Your liver thinks it's in a different time zone from the rest of you. If you've ever felt metabolically broken despite doing everything right, that might be the actual explanation. not a broken metabolism, a misaligned one. 3 levers, all working on the same underlying clock. Eating cutoff. Finishing your last meal at least 3 hours before sleep gives insulin time to fall and lets the night shift begin on schedule. Bedtime. Going to bed by around 10 puts you inside the liver's optimal window. The slow wave sleep between 11 and 3 is when the fat burning shift runs and the factory rebuild happens. Going to bed at 1 and sleeping until 9 doesn't replicate it. The liver isn't counting hours, it's tracking when those hours fall. Morning fasting. Keeping the fast going through the morning holds the liver in repair mode longer. The choline-rich foods you eat when you do break the fast give it the raw materials for the nightly cycle. Fasting without those is running the factory rebuild with no parts supply. Your liver runs on a schedule it's had for hundreds of thousands of years. When you sync your eating and sleeping to that schedule, you're not hacking anything. You're just getting out of the way. Here's what you now know. Your liver runs its most important work in a narrow window every night, but that window is just the baseline. 8 hours is where the maintenance starts. What happens when the fast doesn't end at breakfast? When the liver gets 16 hours, 24 hours, 36 hours without a meal to process, the biology changes in ways that most people never see coming, including what happens to the fat your liver has been holding on to. That's a different video. And it starts right where this one ends. You can click it right here.